Surprised, huh? I knew you'd eventually change your mind and take me up on my offer. Hey, well, am I right? You join us, huh? Hey, stop it. That's enough.
All right, guys, welcome back. So we got Chris, which is the Chia plot. If you don't know who he is, he was the first original OG that got sued by Chia because of using the Chia name in the whole, on the whole franchise of where Chia is today. And we got some interesting news. So, I said that I would not speak of Chia much or at all, but apparently my last video I asked and got over 100 likes. So here I am today. And plus, I wouldn't even have looked on Discord if I wasn't tagged not once, but 2 times. So I'm going to let Chris take it over for now.
Oh, man. All right. So this was hilarious today. I don't know if people didn't see it, but I guess Evergreen Dylan Rose,
the Evergreen Plus,
who is the CTO of JM Hans's company there, Berkeley Compute, and previously, or I guess it's called silicon.net now. But anyway,
is it? They had a name change?
I guess, man, you got to run from the regulator somehow, right? No,
interesting.
I'm kidding. But no, so I guess Dylan didn't pay one of his contractor/vendors.
Wait, before you get there, is he a contractor, vendor, or a dev?
I think he was both, and that makes it complicated.
Okay.
I think he was based on what they said. I think he was renting out space, and as well as doing hours and work for hire. So I think he was operating in both capacities.
Okay.
And it appears that he was supposed to have sold the farming software for the Evergreen miners.
Okay, like the OS, right?
Yeah,
the platform,
the platform. I'm not super familiar with how they work.
Okay.
So I think the details matter here, so I don't want to speak too much on that.
Right.
But
so I want.
Yeah, he accused him of not paying him for a bunch of both work and software. He wants his money and his software, and they're going to lawyers. But then I guess they decided to also fight it out over Discord. And me being the mediator that I was, decided to pour gasoline on that because I ordered at lunch. People got to stop doing this on my lunch hour, man.
Yeah, so I didn't even bother to look at it. Occasionally I'll look at the Discord and I saw my name being tagged. And what I understand so far, because I had to go way back, I mean, it was pretty short-lived as fast as it was announced and it was hyped up. So apparently on Max's Discord, there was a post. Was it from an email that he screenshotted to say that, Evergreen's kind of screwed him over, and this is regarding...
He made a post and he got an email from their bankruptcy attorney.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And he posted that basically saying hey, these guys are going bust.
Since this is kind of cheater related and we're speaking about Evergreen, here's what I understand so far about the Evergreen miners. So far from the where you are now after purchasing it's done. It doesn't do anything for you anymore. There's no support. There's no one even there to look at this thing, supposedly. Maybe just to answer questions and say, we're on it. But in reality, nothing's happening from my understanding.
I feel like they're fancy external hard drives right now, right?
Oh, yes. If anything, you got a Raspberry Pi 4 out of it.
So, let me back up for a second, because I actually think that Dylan pushed an update today and got them working again after the
oh, really? Wow. After the whole drama?
Yeah, on the weekend.
On the weekend, okay.
This morning or whatever, and I think that was part of it. So I guess he accused Luna, his former business partner, contractor, or whatever there, of withholding. He said he locked him out of the servers, and then he said that he withheld the passwords, and Luna said that he just had not documented it properly, and that Luna didn't have an obligation to tell him again.
Interesting. Well, I would have done the same. If you didn't pay me, I'm not going to do anything else.
It really depends on the contract, in my mind. If you had a contract to put over credentials then
if
like
there was even a contract.
The Evergreen Plus.
so
Right.
well, and yeah, and like honestly, man, I don't want to disparage anybody, but this feels like a bunch of like college kids running
Oh,
like a
of course.
like a big lemonade stand.
Like you could have
Like
had a contract. It wasn't notarized. It didn't go through a proper attorney. Obviously, you're not going to spend a couple of $1,000s to draft this thing up. So it's probably a mutual agreement document, which was like a
yeah,
one pager
or
that
Chad generated by Chat GPT.
that was so broad that it
Yeah.
doesn't cover, or get you anything in return. So anyway,
Yeah, I agree. Or it covers all this and someone's gonna sue someone else and get
correct.
restitution. But like, why go to Discord? I don't know, man.
That was the most
Like,
shocking part. Yeah, I was
yeah.
confused as hell because at first I was like Luna. I thought Luna was when someone said Luna, I thought it was like the other crypto blockchain Luna.
Oh
I thought
yeah, that crazy
yeah.
yeah, the
So I'm
Terra
like,
thing or whatever.
why the hell is Luna involved with Chia now? Right?
It
But
would fit.
But in case you didn't know, Luna is a person that was part of the Evergreen team. All right. Whether he was a developer, a partner, or whatever, I'm not too sure. But going forward, after this conversation, I actually set some time to speak with him. So I will get more details if possible.
That's a good idea. I would be interested in hearing more. That's what
Yeah.
my big recommendation to both of them was, that they like don't spat over Discord or whatever. If they want to go to the community with a bunch of
Right.
facts
Right.
and like send it all at once. Don't go do this Discord fighting with each other and like get third parties like me involved who are I don't know skin in the game. I'm literally just trolling them. Don't
Yeah.
listen. This is a message to the Chia community. Like, why are you engaging with me? But like they're
yeah.
gonna watch this and then they're gonna still anyway. It's I don't know,
Yeah.
man. It's not logical. But like I my big concern here though is that from what I can tell,
Mhm.
Evergreen failed basically right before, like they went bankrupt. They were going bankrupt. They failed. They didn't have money to pay their vendors. They didn't have, they were in over their head in debt or whatever.
Right.
And he was somehow able to leverage that with apparently a whole bunch of GPUs, I guess, to go to Berkeley. And like,
Interesting.
I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like one of the things that Dylan was bringing was GPUs that he had gotten from Evergreen. And if Evergreen's going bankrupt, who owns those GPUs? Anyway,
Right. Right.
like I feel like there's a bunch of weirdness going on here. And like that possibly if I were to guess, if I were Luna and making wild accusations, I would say that probably Dylan bought those GPUs instead of paying his vendors and then moved them over to another company and declared
Possibly. Right.
bankruptcy,
Right.
which
As
would be a
expenses.
crime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I'm not accusing anybody of that,
Well,
but like, yeah, what?
Have you known of Luna till today?
No,
Like,
I
no,
don't
right?
think.
Yeah, I've always seen or known only
The Evergreen Plus.
Dylan because
They all
he
know
was-
each other. Like Dylan's girlfriend showed up in this and like was defending him.
Let me let me say something about that. When you said Dylan's girlfriend, do you mean the other guy on Discord? Like there was an actual guy that commented something defending Dylan.
It was a girl. It's his girlfriend.
Oh, no, there was a dude that was defending him, and I thought you were mocking him and saying that, oh, that's Dylan's girlfriend.
No. Dylan's actual girlfriend or someone claiming to be Dylan's girlfriend showed up named Chloe.
Okay, I missed that part. I didn't see that part.
Oh yeah, so I'm assuming here was going through and just like adding reactions to stuff, and Rigidity called her out and was like, "What are you doing here? I don't know who you are." And she's like, "I'm Dylan's girlfriend," and it's like, man, you don't bring your girlfriend to a business dispute.
Wait, do you feel that was possibly another person or a second alias as Dylan's second alias? Like, I'm Dylan's girlfriend.
Man, that would be less embarrassing. A sock puppet, don't give him a buy here,
Oh,
man. Like
man.
a sock puppet is more honorable than having your girlfriend show up.
This has to be one of the most entertaining throughout all of Chia's
This is
existence.
the kind of stuff I get called to my kid's school to like when he gets into a fight
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
sick. So like, I don't know.
I can't help it,
Like,
man. This is going crazy.
I shouldn't laugh because like the actual sums of money here are like they're relatively
Oh,
significant. This is a serious.
8 months of development. Oh yeah.
It's hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh,
I
I'm
think it was like
sure.
over $200,000.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
So
thought about it as soon as I saw that on the Discord.
Yeah.
Like, how many months? Like, I just thought about like if I had to pay out lump sum to myself, my 8 month salary, I'll be like, I'll fucking go bankrupt too. You
and
know?
like, is Dylan completely gonna be liability safe here? Is this gonna bleed into Berkeley?
It
Like, if you
it
started transferring assets or
it's
whatever,
really dependent on if there's evidence. If there's no evidence that the
if he's going
coding
to
was.
court,
Well, yeah, I mean, you could go to court, but you still need sufficient evidence. I mean, I watch my fair share of Suits.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but you were watching Meghan Markle, so you were paying attention to the law. Let's get real.
Either way, it was still good.
But anyway, I think that like this is one of those things that like people need to grow up.
Yeah.
I understand the dispute. I don't think depending, they both think that they're in the right.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, how I don't understand how anyone, I know for myself, if I didn't get paid one billing cycle, 2 billing cycles, we have a problem. Like, it would not have dragged on to 8 months and I still contribute to this.
Well, so he did get paid money in that time.
Okay.
He wasn't getting paid none. At least, like, so Dylan posted some screenshots of like payments that he's made.
Well, I saw the screenshots of negative balances and stuff like that. I just didn't see line items, so I don't know what the hell they're
his
for.
girlfriend showed up and she was like, Dylan was doing his best to do everything. He was living in a van. And it's like, man, if you're going homeless because of your Chia business, don't do the Chia business. Like, again, like, I feel like, Daddy Chia here, like giving people advice. I saw in someone posted screenshots. So I'm not in the Chia Discord anymore because I just can't handle it.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
But like,
fair enough.
People post outrageous screenshots for our Discord. That
Yeah.
big secret to everyone. We screenshot you and laugh at you. But somebody posted that, and it was like somebody taking a loan at 20% to buy XCH.
You mean like currently?
Yeah, like somebody like a couple of
That's
days
insane.
ago or whatever, taking a loan at 20%.
Wow.
Like, you're buying a speculative, garbage volatile asset on your credit card.
That person has a better chance of buying Tesla at the current state is in than Chia.
Go buy scratch offs, man. You'll get the same, like the gratification will be so much faster.
Right.
You're so much more likely to hit. So
I don't know who would speculate that. That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, and like I feel like a public service announcement, like, don't do this crazy shit.
Yeah. I mean, that applies to every crypto, not
all of this
one,
stuff.
Yeah.
Don't work for 8 months for somebody who's not paying you properly.
Right.
Dylan, don't work run a business to the point where you're living out of a van.
Well,
like, don't do this stuff, guys.
My understanding. So it really depends, and I'm just speculating as well until I actually speak to him. It's if it was a project-based, platform, right? If it's project-based, you deliver first quarter. All right, I pay you a little bit, and then you deliver the rest. You fix all the bugs and all that crap, and then they review it, and I'll pay you another. But I don't know if it's salary or if it was project-based. There's a huge difference.
That's why I think that there was some like fixed expenses for. He said that there was equipment that he was hosting and things like that, and because Dylan had to pick up his equipment and stuff. So I think there was some like time-based billing, and then some project. I think it was a mess, is what I think. Right. Is that they didn't like have separate. So when I used to do this kind of stuff and sell services, if we were selling gear and then servicing the gear, like doing like a value-added reselling bit to it, probably to organizations like where you guys would do, we would have 2 separate SOWs for that, right? So like there would be the statement that has all the gear on it, and then the statement that has all the services on it, because those are billed separately, so they don't go on the same invoice, right? They might be connected. It might be like invoice number -A or whatever -B, but like those are separately done. And there's a reason for that, is that so things don't get intermingled, right? And
Well,
like
that's the thing, right? This was
because
just more of a mom and pop shop, you
yeah,
know,
if
hope
I
for the
screw up
best.
the implementation, I
Yeah,
still want to get paid for my routers. You know what I mean?
right,
Like it doesn't,
right,
and the company that's buying them still wants to pay for the gear, even if they're withholding payment for services.
right.
So
For all we know, they could have
yeah,
started as good friends and got into
I
this
think they all knew
position.
each other. There was
Right.
reference to some like 60-year-old woman that was harassed by like two. Anyway, there was some crazy claims going on, man. But like, it seems like this was a group of friends that has been torn apart by this. And like,
Okay.
this is what I'm saying, right? Like to these people, like you guys went too hard.
Yeah.
All of you, you
Yeah.
took it too far. Dylan, like, you know, you had an idea or whatever, and you went bankrupt. Like
It
on it.
wasn't. It was an expensive startup. I
It was
mean,
an
he had to.
expensive startup, and had Chia done
Yeah.
well, I think Dylan did a good job. I don't think that his failure is his fault. I think if XCH was worth 10 times as much money as it is, he would
Because
be fine.
I'm
So
just gonna put it out there. Like, if you think of it logically, right? He had to 3D print unless he got someone else to do it. Those cases, right?
yeah,
He did green and orange for and orange for Vosk or whatever. Those are expensive even if you outsourced it or you did it internally, because you had to
it's
have the
part
three.
of, like
Yeah.
yeah, you're
So that was
manufacturing,
just
right? Yeah,
the 3D printing enclosure. Then you had to pick up the damn secondary hard drive market.
yeah.
Tons of them. I don't know how many he sold, right? And then not
I
only
think he
that,
sold millions of dollars worth. I
right?
think he sold a lot.
I think he possibly sold that much because he
Yeah.
definitely pushed it out that much. Then he has to freaking actually plot each one of them before it actually went out. So the resources for that, the cost, electricity, and all that, there was definitely a high. This was not a typical, low cost startup.
No.
Like go shovel snow or something.
No,
This
and
is-
that's what I mean.
yeah.
I don't think that he did a bad job, and I
Right.
don't want.
The
and I
quality
said
was
that-
there. I won't fault him on that. The quality, he actually paid. There was quality. They actually built it.
That's
It was,
what I mean. Like, I
yeah.
think with Chia, like XCH at like 130 or whatever instead of 13,
Right.
this is a totally different conversation, and we're all being like, "Damn, Dylan and his Lamborghini." You know what I mean? Like, so because when he started this, I didn't think he was going to do a good job, and I
Right.
don't think that was the problem here. I think that maybe it took him a little bit longer to learn some stuff and to do a good job. And then that might have impacted his total revenue over the lifetime of the project, like not getting
Yeah.
them out.
I recall when everyone was calling him out, like you're crazy trying to stop. What was it? No SSD.
You know who Evergreen Miner made more money than? I think
Oh,
Chia Network Incorporated.
who's that? What's that?
Yeah, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I think that Dylan
You
made more
think
money
so?
than Chia.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Like in actual sales to customers, business.
Oh yeah. Because I mean,
revenue,
if you think about it realistically,
Yeah.
what did Chia sell? Nothing.
like some, but they
Besides the
sold
pre-farm. Oh, here we go again. The pre-farm,
Well,
right?
I don't want to get down that. But I think that's what I'm saying. I think that his claims about being one of the bigger businesses on Chia or whatever is absolutely true, right?
I mean, it was good, but it was
but-
short-lived. It was a dying.
He leveraged that as a success, as a
Mhm.
reason for why you should trust Berkeley.
Oh boy.
And he's got GPUs somehow, even though he was living out of a van.
Yeah.
And like
That
now
one
he's a
one
big guy
40
data center.
90 or 5090 could pay someone's rent. All right.
Yeah,
One.
yeah,
I don't know
that's
how
what I
many
mean.
you
So,
have.
there's some funniness going on with the finances here that I think.
Well,
Luna
I think it all comes down to
if I
He-
were Dylan,
yeah.
I would pay Luna every dollar he's saying so that he doesn't end up in court
Mm.
and they start digging through his finances on how everything went down with Evergreen. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
Because I suspect that unless he is airtight with everything that he did, airtight, and he didn't profit in some bad way,
or pocket any extras as
or
someone's
walk out the door with 100 4090s.
Yeah. Oh, it's possible that
Well, he was selling those 8 GPU cluster things, right? He was selling boxes with GPUs.
The Evergreen Plus.
That I wasn't sure. I just know of the
I don't-
hard
well, so
drives.
it's on his
I lost
website.
track of all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was on his website. He was somebody posted a screenshot.
Oh,
He was
really?
selling,
Okay.
8 4090s in an enclosure for 25 grand or something. It was
That's
crazy.
insane. That is
Yeah, I don't
insane. So I guess he was like one of those scalpers, waiting for those 4090s and just reselling
I
them
don't
on
know.
the open market. Yeah. But I mean, that's all speculation. So my understanding is if you're, skipping through this video, let me just recap really quick. So someone on Discord went on to Matt Max's Discord and posted this thing about Evergreen, which is Dylan, and he was like the face of Evergreen, selling it, pushing it. I actually received one unit. It was a unit which is the Raspberry Pi, and then the second unit was the actual hard drive. I did my thing. I used it. I honestly didn't give it too much thought into it. I was like, all right, another gimmick, which most people bought because it was simply like to deploy, and it was low cost in energy because it was running a Raspberry Pi, and it was I felt like it was a really high cost on something that probably he made a profit, but I don't think he profited a lot because there was a lot of expenses going back into each one of these units, right? And not only that, he was pushing it out to the content creators on YouTube and offering, incentives to push this out. And then he had to pay royalty. I'm not pay royalties, but he had to pay, people like Voscoin, whatever amount he sold. So there was another cost to that. So I don't feel like he made, even though if they sold gross wise millions.
Oh yeah, revenue.
Yeah,
good.
revenue, like
Profit.
taxes and the expenses and all the other overheads. Forget it. He probably didn't. I could believe that he was living out of the van on that because it was only like within a year or so, probably maybe at most 2 years that he was doing all this. I realized it was failing as soon as you went to the Evergreen Miners Discord and everyone was complaining this shit is not working anymore. That was a while ago. That wasn't even recent.
I think weren't they using like Flex Farmer or something with Flexpool to start, and then when that shut down,
something like that. Yeah. I never followed it to the technical.
This is what I'm saying. Like he at no point was, and then I guess the whole the thing with Luna was to get off of the reliance on other people, right?
Yeah,
they have the pool and they have their whole thing.
But if like, you really ask me, I feel like he's legitimately not able to pay Luna, which is the person who developed this. Maybe it was a lot of false promises, just like Chia. Like no surprise there, right? but
no wonder they wanted to give him $5 million.
But on the flip side to all that, I believe on my discussion with with Luna was that there was funding going into Dylan's new project, so he's living the life with all this money on the other side, even though you're claiming bankruptcy on your previous project.
Just based on what I know publicly, his net worth is higher than mine.
Probably me too. And I'm the poor investor.
He's a founder for Berkeley, and they're worth at least $5 million, right? Because they got $5 million from Chia. So
that is so sweet. How do I get into that? I should have been nice too, man. I could have got some of that pre-farm.
Yeah, man. You and I are just too toxic.
Yeah, we were too real too soon, man. Too real too soon.
Bootlickers and then had some business and then had them be like, here's $5 million.
Yeah, bastards.
Yeah, because they bought that like Space Time or something like that. I don't know. You probably it just like slipped under the radar for like 14,000 XCH or something like that.
When you're saying Space Time, what was that? That Time Lord thing?
No, consulting company. You'd have to go.
I don't know anything about that. No,
they bought some small. Oh, maybe it's in the XCH.Ninja thing. Yeah,
interesting.
Because they
whatever happened? Do you know whatever happened to the
Space Time? They bought December 31st. The last day of the year, they spent 14,000 and 0.14 XCH on a company called Space Time.
The Evergreen Plus.
And what are they supposed to be doing, or no one knows? Wow. Okay. All right.
Am I allowed to swear? No clue.
Yeah. You guys. Hey, it's a free for all at this point.
I don't know, man. I got stopped from swearing in Max's Discord. Censorship.
I know. I was messing around. When I said that.
It's good. It's the weirdest censorship, but it's no.
Whatever.
For everybody, it's a joke. It's like a Discord auto mod thing, but
yeah. Whatever happened to those? What is it? Those Time Lords, right? I think I remember seeing that
They're
they
running them.
they stopped working or something like that?
No,
Or
but I don't know. I think there was some issue, but they got them working again.
oh, they got them working
They
again.
they
Okay.
broke their own and had to.
Let me ask you something. Now that I know Max is, doesn't really give a two shits about their new plot format because they're delayed anyway, right?
There's
Is
not
that?
gonna be a new plot. Like that's such a ridiculous like.
Yeah, I don't know
Like,
where that's
they're
going. It's
gonna
been going for a
replot
while
the
now.
whole network. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna kill all those old plot. Like
That's insane. They'll lose so many nodes or so many people. Like, just randomly, people are like, if I had to redo this shit again, I am not doing this shit again. There's no value for it to do it again.
maybe if it's super easy and like you just update or whatever, and it slowly replaces all your.
I don't
plots
think
automatically.
anything was ever easy with Chia.
Man, I know, but
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Like, it seems like a huge waste of time to me.
Oh.
Like the consensus protocol is the only part of it that seems fine to me.
Right.
And like the proof of space and time.
Well, that's their
complaints. That's the good idea.
Their
Everything
reasoning,
else,
right?
total burning dumpster. And it's like, let's work on the one thing that already works well. And it's like, come on.
Well, that's the thing. Is it really working well? Because the whole reasoning behind it isn't it because of no SSD?
I don't know, man. Like, there's lots of complaints you can have, but okay, but like, this is another thing. It is functionally impossible to compute a number and then put it on a hard drive and like do that in a way that it can't be computed on the fly. You can make it expensive to compute on the fly. You can be making it more expensive or whatever.
Well, here's the thing.
Like,
Max already said he's done that, but he just said economically it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So he can do it. Anyone who's willing to do it can.
But that's what I'm saying. This is a forever problem. There's no limit, like there's no end to computation.
Exactly.
Right? Like we're not going to get to a point where we slow down on computation.
Right. It's always going to get better. Yeah.
It's always going to get more, and like eventually you'll be able to grind these things.
Of course.
It's not possible to create a thing that can be computed
to prevent that.
Or they can't just be computed in real time, right? Like,
right. I mean, encryption in general throughout its lifetime has proven that.
Yeah.
Right? Power, CPU power, GPU power has always outpowered whatever new encryption that exists.
Everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
So,
and so it's like sometimes you got really long windows, like maybe you get like 10-15 years out of something like that, but like that's what I'm saying about like this is an arms race that will never go away for them.
Right.
And if they're gonna fight this battle, this is the decision to fight it forever.
So I don't understand why Graham would think a new plot format would solve all of this. Meanwhile,
it'll solve it today, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Because
but it won't solve it tomorrow.
Because apparently 4 years ago, when he was explaining this plot format, was supposed to solve that already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So same revolution, nothing ever changing.
So
it's always going to be the same thing.
Impossible for today's hardware or today's software.
Right. Which is impossible for Chia to keep up only because the way NVIDIA is spitting this out, AMD spitting these out.
It's like the ASIC Time Lords. Like by developing that once, it was a decision to continue to redevelop that forever. Because eventually general purpose computing will get faster. Like again, it might have a really big lead, like custom silicon or whatever. But like if you go back, like the first MPEG 2 accelerators were from like the mid 90s or whatever for playing DVDs on your computer.
Yeah.
Your CPU, that was an ASIC to play MPEG 2s.
So
your CPU today is faster.
I wanted to keep on track with this whole Evergreen thing. So I wanted to say the reason why I brought up the new plot format was because Dylan was kind of wanting the new plot format to happen or not wanting the plot.
Not wanting it. He was
not wanting it.
He was going to have to replot all those devices, right?
Right. I remember.
It's fair to say he didn't want it. I would say he had concerns. Legitimately.
Yeah, because everyone would have to either ship back those Evergreen miners at his expense.
Yeah.
But he got lucky with that. But even at the same moment, at the same time,
he shut the company down. He went bankrupt.
No, it was enough time for him to shut the company down without any more issues because everyone was going at it. I think I remember on his Discord, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this now? So, yeah, okay.
God, I know, man. Like this is why it's a business that you got to support forever.
Yeah.
something like that, and you only take money in once. Although I guess they're taking pool fees, but like that's like pennies, right?
That's
So,
yeah, it's not even not. I don't think it's even
but
worth the effort.
that's what I mean. Like a lot of his
Yeah.
problem is that he planned all this out when XCH was like $1,000 a coin, right? And like
Even at
the
half that price, it was still worth the time.
it makes
Yeah,
a lot more
now
sense at
at
$1,000
$12.
a coin.
Oof. So, all
Yeah.
right, you know, our time is coming up. Let me ask you
Are you
for
rich
your.
yet?
What was that?
You rich yet? Are you still the poor investor?
I'm always gonna be the point. Oh, I got my new toy though. You see my
I do.
my
That looks
remote
nice.
control card. I'll give a quick story. I actually had one of those back in 1988. This is a release.
Oh,
So,
this is like from when we were kids. Okay.
yeah, so that's why I have it. So anyway, that shit cost
Oh,
me
so
like
it
200
goes,
bucks.
eh?
Oh yeah, it goes.
Before they had safety. Before they invented safety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this last question, and I know your stance, and everyone knows my stance. With XCH price today, I think where are we now? Let me just take a quick look. I think we're at like $12,
Like
$13. Oh, I
Yeah.
think it went up today. Oh, 6%. 13. All right, $13. It went back down 6%. Oh, wow, interesting. All in a day. So we're at $13 XCH. What is your prediction for the end of the year? And that's not too far from now.
Saying that Dunktober is coming, right? And that
What the hell does that mean? I keep seeing that. I don't understand what that means.
Dunk on us with his amazingness.
Oh, I kept thinking it was like a drinking thing, like, you know, October drinking.
Well, it's definitely a drinking thing. But I think the goal is that he posted some AI thing of like some old man with a big white beard like dunking a basketball. So I think it's like he's gonna dunk on us, and like we're all like, you're amazing. And it's like I don't think that they realize that like Chia could succeed, and we'd be like, go guys.
Oh yeah,
That's great.
By all means. I've been waiting for that moment because I feel like once that happens, my channel will take off.
Yeah, like yeah, you definitely stand to benefit from that. That's like again, I don't
Prove
understand.
me wrong, please, man.
My prediction is that it's probably around the same what it's at right now.
Really? Wow, you're pretty optimistic.
Yeah, I don't think that it's going to crash out too far as long as
with the amount of pre-farm that they've been selling.
Well, there's a weird equilibrium with price and net space and
right.
They're going and it doesn't seem to bounce too hard. It seems.
And then you're telling me people
volatile.
taking out loans to get this shit. So yeah, I guess there is a balance.
Are buying it on their credit card, right? Like, man, maybe I should buy some. But
you know, I speculate. I think about this sometimes. I'm like, maybe he just flaunts. I mean, he has money, right? Chia, whoever works there, Bram has money. They have money, and they just get bored every once in a while. But like, oh, let me just hold some, buy back some bags to pump up this shit again. No one would ever know.
0% they're putting their money in that garbage.
All right.
0%. And like, I don't even mean that as a, like I do, but I also don't mean that as like to denigrate XCH. I think that if they were going to be investing more money into it, they would be buying more equity in their company, which they're selling XCH to. So they've got a better vehicle internally. Right. Yeah. Like because they need financing, right? So if Bram came with like $10 million and was like, I'm going to dilute everyone else's share.
Right.
And grab another 5 points or something like that. That's like $1 million. XCH, that's $10 million. You know what I mean? Like he gets it out of the pre-farm that way too, right? So
let me ask you and end it here with this. in 30 seconds, tell me what the hell CNI is doing right now.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Drinking.
What is it that they're doing? What are they doing that no other blockchain can do?
Oh, okay. So they're doing the Bermuda stuff, right? Like they're doing those weird certificates that they're becoming investment bankers, man.
Oh,
you brought up suits. Right. Remember when Buddy goes off and tries to be an investment banker?
Yes,
it's like their mid-season investment banker.
Yes.
Right now.
So they're trying to almost like a salami attack to like carve a few pennies from every transaction.
They're trying to do anything they can. I don't think they have
to be relevant.
What? No.
To be relevant?
Gene went to that meeting, so he got to see David Sachs. So I guess that's
cool. That meeting was just an invitation. Seemed like an invitation for a lot of people. It wasn't like very specific.
I don't know. Maybe it's something like, again,
That's like
it's
me going to an
thing.
RSA conference. Okay,
Yeah. The other thing too is that, like, just because someone's gonna hand them the ball doesn't mean they're gonna run it into the end zone.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
It's like, and
That's
for all
good.
you nerds that don't understand sports analogies, that means that I do not believe that they're going to score necessarily, even if somebody just hands it to them. Because, like,
Or what
yeah.
what do you call that when they they kneel on their own side
Oh,
of
they go
the
take a knee? Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
No, I think they've got too much arrogance to take a knee on a thing.
Right.
They've still got that fighting spirit, right? Like, if you go on Chia Forum,
Hmm.
Chia's just like, man,
He's
he
still
found
going
a
at
new
it.
place.
I
Oh,
honestly, I don't know how he finds time to stay on this social media so much, which is amazing, to be honest.
if
Uh,
I knew my CEO spent this much time on social media, I
whew,
would find another job.
shit, I would have been finding another job if my current boss knew I was on social media that much.
Well, yeah.
Right? You're like, holy cow. But
Well, that's why like
amazing.
I get lost on this stuff, because like I looked
Yeah,
at it over lunch or whatever, but then I had like
right,
work to do for a couple
right.
hours. Then I'm trying to
I
catch
was
up.
shocked. You rarely tag me on anything, and when you tagged me today, and then someone else re-tagged me to remind me that you tagged me, I was like, wow, okay, let me start reading
It
back.
was
And I
worth it though. You should go back
yeah,
and see. Go find when Chloe steps in, man, because that's
I have
just
to
like,
find that. Yeah, I had to
it's
go
like,
back at
man,
least 4 hours worth of crap
again,
to
some advice for all the young men out there. If you're gonna get in a fight, girlfriend is not your backup. It's just, she just isn't. And like, if she's tough enough to be, good for you, good for her.
right,
She still
right.
isn't.
Unless maybe he was that good that he has his own AI, which was Chatty AI. Her name is Chatty.
Yeah, I
That
cannot
was
confirm nor deny that this is not a Canadian girlfriend, but but I actually got the sense that they all knew each other.
right.
And like,
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it was a tight knit
keep it
group.
in the circle, people. Don't bring
Yeah,
it to Discord,
it
because
was a
otherwise
small. I
I'll
mean,
make fun.
Evergreen was. I can think of it worked out of a garage, and it only had a couple guys. So
Yeah,
obviously, yeah,
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 cool, right? But like, keep it internal,
right,
right? Like,
right.
we don't need
To-
to do this. It's fun,
Yeah.
but we don't need to.